was cut from the team. And now 3 of 5 as he knocks it through. The Eagles have jumped to a 3-0 lead on the Colts. First quarter, and the Eagles lead the Colts 3-0. The most dramatic fall off in the Eagle defense is their inability to stop the run. From 1989 to 92, they allowed only 2 running backs to rush for 100 yards. That's a span of 64 games. This season, in only 13 games, they've allowed 6 running backs to rush for 100 yards, including 5 of the 10 biggest days enjoyed by backs all this year. And that was one of the reasons to sign William Perry, listed at $335, much more than that, because he does provide some stability to the defensive line. Certainly takes up some space.
Well, and that's the key. He's a guy who can clog up the middle, and you're going to have to use 2 people to move him. There's no one guy in the league who's going to move or turn William Perry.
Ruzek. Verdun from the 2. Clarence Verdun out to the 25-yard line. Hope you join us next Sunday at noon Eastern, NFL Game Day with Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, and Chris Mortensen. Joe Theismann also there to provide the most comprehensive pregame show in television. Then at 7 prime time, all the highlights of all the games. Then at 8 o'clock, Joe and I will be at the Metrodome as the Kansas City Chiefs battle the Minnesota Vikings. And Minnesota stayed alive with a dramatic win over Green Bay today. And Kansas City cruising toward a division title right now.
And Kansas City really struggled with San Diego today.
Derek Oden is the injured Eagle. I'm not sure if it's just the games we have had, but it seems that every team we have had on our schedule has had major injury problems. And it seems like it is league-wide this year, and there doesn't seem to be any decent explanation for it.
No, Mike, I agree with you, other than the fact that, to me, a lot of injuries happen on AstroTurf.
Yeah.
Watch the lower left side of your screen. Verdun cuts, and you see him get hit, and you just see him go down. And to me, if the owners in the National Football League are going to pay millions and millions of dollars to these athletes, then the simplest thing they can do with all the money they're getting from the networks now is go build some stadiums where the athletes can play at least semi-safe.
Well, Norman Brayman in Philadelphia wants a feasibility study on building a stadium, a non-domed stadium with regular grass, with the real stuff.
Well, that garbage that they play on in Philadelphia, it's treacherous, it's dangerous. It was that way when I played there 8 years ago, and it hasn't gotten any better.
Well, what's amazing to me is they're waiting another year until the warranty runs out to replace it. I mean, there's seams in that thing that hurt people.
Dollars, Mike. It's called dollars. Economics.
Oden able to leave, and as you see, Norman Brayman, the owner, and Oden being assisted off the field. The Eagles are hoping they will have Eagle Stadium by opening day 1996, hopefully built with private money, which seems to be a trend around the NFL now. Jack Kent Cooke trying to do the same thing in Washington. And Rich Kotite has seen enough players helped off the field. He has lost 15 starters for various periods of time this year. And you've got to hand it to the guy. I mean, he has had massive injuries, not only this year, but lost Cunningham in his first year. And somehow find a way to hold them together. 1st and 10, Colts from their own 25. Pot straight ahead. Absolutely nothing there because of Andy Harmon, number 91, 6'4", 265, and he just stuffed the big rookie fullback.
You know, Mike, for the Eagles, this week of preparation really couldn't have been that difficult because Ted Marchibroda, having coached in Buffalo for a number of years, has installed the same type of offense here in Indianapolis. So when the Eagles prepared for Buffalo, all they had to do was break out the same kind of film and prepare for the Indianapolis Colt offense.
George changing the play. Now he's in trouble, and they've got him back at the 21-yard line. The Eagles closed hard. William Thomas, the right side linebacker, applying pressure in there. Clyde Simmons also helping out.
Mike, I want to show you a little bit of what the Eagle defense is trying to do. See, there's Ben Smith, there's Wes Hopkins. What happens is if he is inside, he's going to cut the receiver off from going that way, and he's going to come out here. Vice versa. If he's out here and the safety's inside, they'll go the opposite directions. Watch this. The route goes inside. Hey, that's easy. I'm up there to jam him right now. And Wes is backing him up on the backside.
Clarence Verdun is the wide receiver to the far side on 3rd and 14. Movement up front, and they'll blow it dead. Dale Hamer, the referee.
Ball start. Number 88, prior to the snap, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
I'll tell you one thing, Mike, they can't complain about noise.
That's true.
I mean, it's not a question of not being able to hear the snap count.
Penalty was called on the tight end, Kerry Cash. He's back in the starting lineup.
It's the quietest dome I've ever worked with. As a player or an announcer.
Give him a chance.
Okay.
It is. 19 now. George with time. Deep over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Cash. He was covered very well by Seth Joyner, the do-everything linebacker.
This is an excellent job by Jeff George. It's great coverage by Seth Joyner. See the middle of the football field? Keep an eye on it when the ball is snapped. There's still not a safety in the middle of the field. Nobody in the hole. He just fires this thing. And I think that's something that Jeff George can have an opportunity to work on. And that's putting a little more air under the ball and giving the receivers a chance to run under. You don't have to throw the ball perfectly all the time.
Ron Stark, the 4-time Pro Bowler. Sikahema said this was the longest week of his life after fumbling 2 kickoffs a week ago. And he dives out to the 40-yard line. Nice return to 15 yards by Sikahema after a punt of 59. Be with us on Tuesday, December 28th at 7:30 for an NFL special. For the first time ever, the Pro Bowl Selection Show. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Joe Theismann exclusively announced this year's Pro Bowl team for both the AFC and the NFC. It's the first time the fans have had a chance to vote. So tune in and see how the coaches and players' choices compare with yours. That's the Selection Show. Tuesday, December 28th, 7:30 Eastern. Eagles again with excellent field position, starting just outside their 40. Brister goes to work, completes it to Calvin Williams. Here's something for you, Coach. This is the team that's 28th stopping the rush, and the Eagles come out throwing the football.
A lot of times you get trapped into what statistics tell you as opposed to doing what you do well. What Richie Kotite wants to do is have a balanced attack on 1st and 10. Throw a little, run a little. I think by the time we get to the end of this game, you're going to see a pretty even balance. So instead of just doing what the Colts don't do well, Richie's staying with his game plan.
2nd and 2. Joseph trying to get the first down. Had to get just across midfield. It will depend on the spot.
On your right, Zeke Bratkowski. On your left, Richie Kotite, the head coach. See Kotite with the plays in front of him, Bartkowski not. Richie Kotite in the Washington Redskin game took the play calling duties away from Zeke. And, you know, he said, hey, I called him for so long. I didn't like the way things were going. A change had to be made. But the truth is, whether you're a head coach who was a coordinator like Zeke is, or the quarterback, if you were giving everybody separate sheets, they'd all call about the same play.
Yeah, you're right. 1st and 10, just into Colts territory for the Eagles. Walker, the deep man. And here goes Herschel. Spins out of a tackle. Still on his feet. He'll get about 5 out of it.
Herschel has a great philosophy, Mike, about while you're being tackled. And that's why you see him make so many yards and break tackles. What he does is when somebody comes up to hit him, if he gives them a lot of force, it's easy to grab him. But what he almost does is back off a little bit, and it's a little harder to grab him. And so as he backs up, he gets to reload and fire again. I mean, he is so cerebral and so good at analyzing this game of football.
2nd and 5. Play action. Christopher Williams attempt to the 1-foot line.